Hello, and welcome back in here to Winsel's World. I'm still in my same territory, but not on my property. And so I'm out here at the edge of the field that's plowed up for them to plant whatever they're going to plant out here to attract the deer. When deer season opens up, why, they'll be sitting at the other end. And I don't know if you can see the feeder or not, but I don't guess anything in it now. But anyway, they'll be sitting and hunting at the end that you see up yonder. And so all this field that you see behind me, I'm at one end where the pond is over there. And of course, everything you see then is where it's going to be. It's already plowed up and disc up. So it just looks like a bunch of weeds in here to me, trying to grow amongst all this clods and stuff. So anyway, how y'all doing today? Well, the pipe I got here is a Molina, and so I got this pipe last year. I won this in Papa Bear's gall, and so that's where this particular pipe came from. And let me pack some of this ash down here a little bit. Thanks, Garrett and Katie. They sent me that last year as a yabo. Well, I see the blackberries are red, so they not ripe. Let's see, 4th of July. Huh, okay. Well, they got some ripening to do in the next few days then, don't they? Look mighty red looking to me. But we're a little bit further north than what I'm used to blackberry picking. Of course, I'm thinking blackberry picking most of the time down in Tennessee where I grew up. And 4th of July then, why, you was able to start eating wild blackberries. Very still. Not hardly any breeze. Makes it a little difficult, don't it, when you're working out in this and you get all hot and sweaty. If you don't have some breeze blowing on you, it just makes it that much worse. Usually you think, when you got light, especially sunlight, not just daylight, but sunlight, that you got breeze. And we had some earlier in the day, but of course it's supper time now. Well, I guess that's according to who you are and where you live and all of that, though, isn't it? What I call supper time. So, And the particular tobacco that I got in here, again, is part of another yawbo. It was sent to me last week by the mustard seed piper. And so this particular uh, blend here is Stanwell's vanilla. Never had any Stanwell vanilla before. Tastes, it smells better in the jar than it tastes. I appreciate it, you know. I ain't downing you about it or anything. It just, you know, do I have to be so honest? mm. Of course, it seems to vary with me. Sometimes I got one pipe. I, you know, what? I, we'll get into that some other time. But I got one pipe. It don't hardly make any difference what I put in it. There was one blend I put in at one time last year. I think it was. Might have been the year before, but whenever it was, seemed like to me it did well in it, and I don't remember what it was exactly. It might have been the Maltese Falcon, which I've been out of that for a long time. So anyway, what is a long time? But anyway, I hadn't had any this year, so I've been seeing some deer run over on the road last week. I think they're all probably about the same size. They probably yearlings. Look like they're probably, 5 months old, something like that. Yeah, I think I got it caught up good. It's getting a little bit hot. So what I tell you I do when I first start them, I just start them empty. Then I put the filter in later. Takes a 9 millimeter filter. Wouldn't hurt if that stem was cleaned out. Yeah, that particular stem catches that there fiber off of those pipe cleaners. Real time here now. Mm-hmm. I got two different tampers, just whichever one I want to go after. Had a stick and one built into this lighter. Don't reckon you see any deer, do you? I doubt you're seeing one, but you can watch. You might see one come out. Or who knows, you might see a turkey come out or something else. Went to the store today, feed store, to get some chicken feed. Got some different kind this time. Just looks like cornmeal. So they call it a laying mash. I asked that fella that runs the store there. I said, he sells a little bit of everything there: feed, and hardware supplies, and clothes, and a little bit of everything. Mowers and chainsaws, like I say, just a little bit of everything. I asked him, I said, anything wrong with using just a plain light bulb in a refrigerator? He said, oh yeah, you don't want to do that. Just a plain light bulb, although it might fit and work, it's not manufactured for that cold like that. I said, well, you sell appliance bulbs? Oh yeah. I said, well, sell me one. So he went and looked for it. I stood there and talked to the lady that runs the cash register. She said, I don't know what's become of him. I'll go check. I said, well, I'll go check. So I hadn't walked very far around the corner to hear he come. He said, I was looking too hard for it. It was right in front of me all the time. And you know, I got thinking about something. You ever think too deep? You know, we might think it, well, some folks don't think at all. They don't think ahead and they're driving, and some people just don't think at all. So we're doing pretty good if we think. But do you ever think too deep? No question was asked one time, could God make a rock so big that even he couldn't move it? He said, well, what's the answer to that? Well, I'm not really sure other than that sounds outside of his characteristics to do something that would contradict himself. So, but do you ever think too deeply? You know, sometimes things are just right in front of you. And sometimes you do have to search and look and things like that. And sometimes things are very obvious. And sometimes you do have to think deep. But should we think deep about everything? Seems like some folks just never satisfied. Heard a fella say one time, a horseman, he had a channel. I guess he still does. I'm not able to watch that anymore. They want me to pay $3 a month or something like that, and to watch it. So I don't watch the particular channel anymore. But he said a man's successful if he is doing what he enjoys. You know, if you can make a living and enjoy what you're doing making a living, and you got peace and contentment, in some people's book, that would be success. You say, well, is that success? Well, now here we go thinking maybe too deep again. Do you have to do your adult children's thinking for them? had to plan your adult children's lives that don't even live under your roof? Would you want your parents doing you that way? Mm. Well, here's what I think you ought to do. Here's what I do. Here's what you need to do. Here's what you're going to. They may tell you where to get off. Mm. I don't drink those drinks very often. I thought I might need it today. Both promote electrolytes. My wife is playing the piano right now. You say, well, how do you know that? How, you that close to the house? No. No, I'm probably about 3/4 of a mile from the house. You say she plays that loud? No, the dog barks that loud. The dog, it's not really barking like she sees somebody, but it's sort of like, I don't know, it's hard to describe. She's not playing the piano right now because I don't hear the dog. It's something how you memorize things, isn't it? Repetition. I've heard that dog do that. My wife probably plays the piano 3 or 4 times a day. I know whenever she's doing it, a dog gets to barking. She'll sit up in that chair on the front porch and peek through the window and do that yapping bark that she does. Mm. Well, I get a little more fire in here. Look and see how long I've been on here. That pipe's really colored up real good. I don't know if you can see it very well or not. The sun's gone a whole lot beyond the trees over there. But it's colored up real good since when I got it. It was just more or less whitish plain looking. So I see those bird's eyes, fish eyes. I see those grain sides. Oh, look at the flame of the grain up through there on that side. More fish eyes, bird eyes. This is the pipe that I've designated for aromatics. a little pond yonder. They tried the other fella that owned this place. Two people before this owner. He tried to drain that pond, so it's very shallow, and it's full of those. It's just a big overgrown lily pad now, and it's not a big pond either. Probably something like 80, 90 foot long by about 30 foot up this end and 50 foot down yonder side end, full of lilies. Well, I appreciate you subscribers and folks that view the channel, and hope that you're getting something out of it. Maybe find some time to relax or smoke your pipe along with me. Give you something to look at, different scenery. So to you and yours, why, you have a good one. And until we meet again, adios.